I'm going to call this meeting to order, and I have to add an amendment. We have an amendment to the grant list from the listers, and we'll add that under new business. And with that, we have the minutes of July 9th, which we could act on tonight, and then we have July 18th, but we don't have a quorum of the people that were at that meeting. So, for July 9th,
those are three of us.
Us three,
Right?
yeah.
So I'll move we approve the minutes for July 9th.
And I'll second it.
okay, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And you'll abstain.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we have bills for payment. We have warrants 3 and the payroll 3P. What would you like to do?
Well, I'll move that we approve warrants 3 and 3P.
I'll second it.
Okay, any discussion? The total for warrant 3 is $168,943.77. And of that, $150,000 is going as a payment to the school system. There was also ditch work and materials that will be covered for the most part by a grant in aid. But, and there were some tax refunds for people that had prepaid their taxes, and then the state sent money back, so we had to refund some money on that. So, any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. So we have public comments and visitors. With your permission, we could move ahead to liquor catering request and permit waivers for the Whetstone Brewery and campfires. Would you like to
That's fine with
be
me.
okay with that? Okay.
Thank you for
You're
doing that.
here
Many thanks.
representing them.
Shall we move the liquor forward then? To approve those?
To at least approve them. I don't know. Do we have to be in the liquor commission
To
to discuss
it?
them?
No.
I don't think so. So,
Okay, so we have a request for oh wait, how'd the event go?
It went very well, thank you. We had the police officer there from 2 to 7.
Yeah?
And I think, is it Geraldine?
Yes?
Yeah.
She stopped by and checked it out too, so if you want to ask her how it went. We got rained out at the end, so people had to close up shop and go home early.
Mhm.
But we didn't end up using the overflow parking at all.
Right,
We maintained all parking within our grounds.
yeah,
But it was still good to have that sheriff presence, and it wasn't a big deal. We can do it for any other event going forward if you need to, so
okay,
it worked out.
all right.
And not to make this too awkward, but could you just people watching, could you just tell us who you are again?
I'm James Brannigan, Whetstone Operations Brewery Manager. This is David Heiler.
Hello again.
General Manager.
Yeah. How many people do you think before you got rained out?
Before we got rained out, gosh, I'd say over the course of the day, probably like 300 at the most.
Okay.
Yeah. You know how many tickets were sold to that event?
No, they don't tell me that.
Oh, the Foreman doesn't, yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's a skewed number, even if we knew the ticket number, because we had campsite people that were comps. We had our own stack of comp tickets. I know that it was not well sold, so I know that for a fact. So.
I was just filling them in on how the event went and how the sheriff was there from 2 to 7.
Right.
So overall, I think it went pretty well.
Good, great. Any questions about that?
I'm glad to hear that people did go, because I was about to
Yeah.
go and it started pouring. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, well, maybe next time.
It's
Yeah.
I wasn't able to attend the entire event, but the sound guy Dan Richardson sent me a picture of the radar map that he had on his phone, and it basically was like these two red, yellow, green, black
Yeah.
weather patterns, and then Dummerston right in the middle of it. And he's like, you know, we're riding in between right now. And it sounded like it held out till about 6:30
Yeah,
or so. He said
everything
they
just
said they got
turned
most of the
mud.
sets in.
Okay.
So it said it went, you know, he said most of the headliners set, people stuck around for it, so.
Great.
Yeah.
So we have permit waivers and requests for events in August, and then the one in September. Shall we go into our liquor commission now? And
Sure. So I'll move that we recess the select board and adjourn the liquor control board.
I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right. So the events on the 10th and the 17th are sort of grand opening celebration.
Yeah, we've had that food truck going for a little while this summer,
Mhm.
and we want to make it more of a grand, you know, opening and have music and serve beer, which is what it's designed for during major events. But it's going to be catered mostly to the campers on the grounds, and we're not going to be heavy advertising it, so we don't foresee any overflow parking
Mhm.
needs.
Okay.
Do you see less than the 280? So is this a permit waiver as well you're
Yes.
looking for? I didn't just catch that.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't anticipate, I mean, it'll be marketed probably to Whetstone Mug Club members and some of our fans of the Whetstone as well, but we don't anticipate more than a couple hundred people.
Okay, so no permit waiver?
No.
Just look for those two, for the 10th and the 17th?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
Then on the 25th, there's an event, another concert.
It's the third in the series.
Yep.
So we had folk, Americana, this Cajun music.
Uh-huh.
So we can do the sheriff from
Okay.
2 to 7.
Sure.
They have actually, so I spoke to the reformer and they're not, we have full ABF parking lots,
Oh.
both up and down, and the down, and they will not have any parking across the street. They're
Mhm.
asking that we request that please, that they don't hire
Oh.
the sheriff for this event. They will have it for Street Food Fest, without a doubt, but they're asking to not have to hire the sheriff for this particular event. We're anticipating similar numbers, and they said there will be no parking across the street.
So is that no sheriff just for traffic control or no law enforcement?
They were
That-
asking that no law enforcement be on site for this one. That they felt like there was not a need for it, and they were requesting that we request of you that they don't have it for this event, but certainly for the Street Food Fest, for there to be more people that they do. They're concerned, they have, I'll be blunt, they have lost a lot of money doing this event. They probably aren't gonna continue it next year. We might continue it ourselves next year, but it's something that they're trying to, you know, save some money for the marketing of it, but not as much for the law enforcement presence, which they felt would be, the issue would be mitigated by keeping all the parking on one side. That's the request.
I thought there was one deputy there from
Yeah,
2 to
2 to
7 last
7.
time. Okay.
I mean, from what I recall, that was the initial concern, was about pedestrian safety crossing the road.
Yeah.
I mean, that really was what drove the decision for the sheriff to be there, which is why I do feel that larger food truck event, it definitely needs to have someone there to traffic that. But were there other reasons why we wanted law enforcement aside from the crossing the road?
I can remember the same way. It was really a public safety issue.
Yeah.
Crossing Route 5 was the big concern, you know, just the location.
And if I may, I feel like we added a lot of volunteers for this event. So we had 2 people standing up top, we had 2 people down below. We had contacted the DLC about making sure, you know, that our licensing, so in terms of liquor, felt like we were covered. You know, as I understood it, they never had to really leave the vehicle. They were there and hung out, but there was no, they didn't, you know, add any other presence. And again, I feel like as a property owner, you know, I want to feel comfortable too and safe if there's an issue. I don't feel like these events so far have warranted, you know, where there's something that's going to be out of our
Yeah.
control. I feel like when we talk about Street Food Fest, where we literally had, you know, almost, 2,000 or 2,500 people that wandered in throughout the day, I want a little bit more comfort level there. But in this, I can't disagree with their request personally that's up to you guys, but
Yeah.
I feel I wouldn't recommend it if I didn't feel comfortable.
Yeah, well, your
setting
numbers
ourselves.
have turned out a little bit smaller
below
than
what we
you
thought,
initially
yeah.
anticipated.
Which I think things take time.
Yeah, yeah,
So anyway, that's,
Yeah.
I'm conveying that on their behalf.
Mhm.
okay. And the sheriff, and I think you said this, David, but other than in his vehicle or kind of monitoring,
Yeah.
there's no issues within the festival that he had to, come and resolve?
Not that I know of it, I'm more than happy to reach out to them personally and ask them if they felt there was
Yeah.
a need or there.
He had my cell phone number
Right.
as a direct contact, and he was totally fine.
Okay.
Nothing.
Okay.
Well, I'll tell you, I guess I'm gonna make a motion and then you can amend it if you like, but I'll move that we approve the grand opening on the 10th, the grand opening on the 17th, which requires no permit waiver, we're just approving the liquor license, and the music festival, without the sheriff on the 25th of August. Pending, I may reach out to the sheriff just to ask him his
Please
thoughts.
do, yeah, absolutely,
So,
I have no problem.
I'll send him a note, but if he has nothing negative, I move we approve those 3 events. And I'm just gonna, that's my motion, and I'm just gonna suggest we hold off on the food festival on the 22nd of September.
I'll second it.
You got it?
Okay. Any discussion?
Fine with that plan?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right.
I will move we adjourn the liquor control board and reconvene the select board meeting.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Okay, so we're back as the select board.
So just on that, the reason I did that, and I was just thinking about it, that's pretty far out, and I don't foresee any issues, but it's easier for us to see these 3 events come up, and I think it's just, for me, it's easier to respond if a resident has any concern, to then ask you guys to come back, they could come back, we could have a discussion together and sort it out.
Sure, that's fair.
But I think this will get you through the next couple.
I
or
feel like we
3
should
next.
bring snacks, you know, so often I feel guilty that we don't bring gifts, but you know, it's probably not appropriate, so.
That-
I
that-
know,
in Dummerston,
sorry,
we don't-
strike that, strike that.
Let's see, so I'd assume that we're going to want the sheriff at the food
Yeah.
truck, so.
Yeah.
And I did clarify that with them,
On that.
they were totally on board with that, that's fine.
Okay.
Mhm.
Other than that, okay, so you're good to go for August.
Great,
Great.
thank you very much.
Thanks for coming again.
Yeah,
Thanks.
we'll see you soon.
Thanks for coming. Actually, since you're here so often, we are still looking for an auditor in town, and you might as well.
James is great with numbers.
A stipend.
What's the job description? You should, you
I'll-
might know
I'll-
someone.
I'll send it to you.
Yeah, we might actually know someone. So, thanks again for your time.
Okay,
Enjoy
thank
the rest of
you.
your evening.
We'll see.
Okay, thanks for coming by. Okay, so it's back to our regularly scheduled programming, and I don't know if Lee is here for a road foreman's report, or if you're just,
I don't have very
Just-
much on the road foreman's report.
okay, if you,
You wanna come up though to the table? Might be easier for the camera.
yes,
All
okay.
right. So,
Might have steered him wrong, but.
yeah, I wasn't planning on doing a road foreman's report, but I do have a few things.
All right,
The pilot aid grant, we should be finishing tomorrow, which is on Beaver Pond Rural Road, the stone line ditching and culvert replacement. And then we're gonna move the excavator to Bunker Road to start our category C, the stone line ditching and culverts over there, for the Better Roads, grant. Next week, when we're back to a full crew, we're gonna start doing some, grading and fixing quite a few ditches. These storms are starting to wear on them.
Yeah.
But other than that, that's all I really had for the meeting tonight.
Well, I just wanna say West Street looks great. Walked up and down it the other day.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we still have to fix some of the edges, and hopefully we can get that in the next couple of weeks, but, Yeah, I think the water's running for the most part where it's supposed to, so.
This is a good test this week.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, I drove down there, through
Yeah.
there today to look at one problem that we were having. And, but it wasn't too bad a fix for that, so.
Yeah, some of the berms that are still there between the road and the actual ditch, that's got a lot of water today. And there's
Yeah.
some of it that's already getting undermined.
Yeah, right
Underneath the
there
pavement.
across from, the library or just north of that a little bit. I noticed there's a little
One there and
trench
then
there.
just one right above Lion Street by the light post. There's a pretty big ditch now going under the pavement.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna have Tyler run over with some 1.5" stone and throw in them, and then that'll at least kick it out of them.
And can you just take a look, there's some work being done on one of the houses there, Lee. And you probably noticed this only because it's brand new pavement, but they ran some equipment on it and there's 2 gouges out of the new pavement
Oh,
in the road.
I
That's,
didn't notice that.
I don't know how far, well, they went down a little bit, I don't know
Yeah.
how much, but I just wonder if it'll compromise if water starts freezing it and doing it again. But there's 2 there, and then there's like 3 separate areas where they gouged out the pavement.
Okay.
Probably moving, when they dropped their
Yeah.
tails down and then drove the heavy equipment off onto it, it just dug them in and slid it back and
Okay,
dug up the pavement. And I would think they could either, I don't know, they come and fix it or,
yeah, I'll have to
We do
see how
it.
bad it is, because a lot of those, if they're not, there's not a whole lot you can do.
Yeah.
Um,
it's unfortunate it hadn't
Yeah.
probably set totally
Right.
yet on it.
If it was a hot day when they unloaded,
Mm.
Yeah.
pavement was still
Yeah,
a little pliable.
yeah. That's right above, you'll see that, it's, where the 2 Lions roads come up.
Yep.
It's right on the street, on the west side of it, closer to the southern entrance to Lions Road.
Yep.
You'll see,
Going,
you'll see
it's
it.
going into the cemetery, I take it.
No, further back. They took the
Oh.
equipment off just south of that driveway.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of the south entrance of Lion Roads. If you're
Yeah.
coming up that, and then on the west side of West Street, right there, that's where they probably dropped the trailer
Okay.
and put it
Yep.
down. Something worth looking
Yeah.
at.
I'll see how bad it is.
Okay.
All right, thanks, Lee. Right, under correspondence for information, is there anything you want to discuss there?
Is anyone attending the wastewater forum?
You know, I might go.
Okay.
I think there is somebody from the planning commission that's going.
Oh, great.
Oh, great, good, good.
What time is that tomorrow? Good. I'll look, that's fine. I have
Yep.
an email from Lou.
Yeah. I think it's tomorrow evening. Okay, we have nothing for correspondence for discussion or action. Under new business, we've dealt with the liquor catering requests. We interviewed an applicant for the delinquent tax collector position. What would you like to do with that?
I'll make a motion that we approve the appointment for the applicant for the delinquent tax collector position.
Okay.
I'll second.
All right. Okay, then we can discuss. All right. So the applicant is Whitney Harrison, Dummerston resident. We would, let's see, do you want to have a friendly amendment for wage?
Right, I'm also curious, are we supposed to televise personnel discussions?
I think to actually appoint someone, I believe so.
Okay, even
Yeah.
if it's a discussion of wage?
I think that's,
Okay.
money is public.
Okay, all right.
It's in the budget,
Right,
so it's in the
okay.
town report, so.
Okay, just want to double check.
Yeah, so it's, yeah, so. A little different sense of privacy when it's a municipality versus a
Yeah.
private
Yeah,
organization.
yeah.
So this is, we're spending, people watching, and
Right,
we're
of
spending
course.
their money, so.
Of course, yeah.
In your friendly amendment, does it have a number with it?
I was going back to the person that made the motion to.
To second the motion? Or
No, to come
to
up with.
propose with a number?
Yeah.
Well, we tried to do some research about comparable, to come up with some comparables in the state. And we've not yet found a document that gives us really the information we need. But I think what we are leaning towards is increasing her hourly wage, because she is currently serving as assistant town clerk, and this carries a lot more responsibility with it. But also she's new to the position, so obviously she won't be getting the wage that the current person has, who's been doing it for, is it really 4 decades? No way.
A little less.
Okay, I was like, she's not old enough to be doing it for 4 decades.
She's still young.
I was like, maybe.
But the interesting, she's still young, actually.
Yeah. So proposal was maybe in the 1650 range. But again, I'm just throwing out a ballpark figure.
We can. Okay, that's your figure, and
Yeah.
you okay, second?
Yeah,
Or does
that's
anyone want to discuss that figure?
Well,
Have any
well,
better
we can-
ideas?
We
That's comfortable with me.
I was thinking that sounds very good, and we could either discuss either the 6-month review, or we could just wait till town meeting day, and then
Which comes
when we
first?
approve the next.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little unfortunate Geraldine isn't here, because I feel like she has a really good,
Yeah.
she's been sort of our guru around HR stuff
Yeah.
and reviews and
Mhm.
that type of thing. But if we can come up with a figure that we think that
Yeah.
our candidate would be
Yeah.
happy with,
I think
we
I'll-
can revisit it
Yeah.
later.
Honestly, I said probation, but because she's already been the assistant town clerk for so long, I mean, I don't really see her. I know it's a new position, but I guess I don't really see it as a probationary
Yeah.
time period for her. I mean, we're kind of appointing her for the job,
Right.
till town meeting, and then we'll reappoint her if that's, where what direction we go. So I think that's a good offer. 1650.
So will she have 2 rates? One?
Yeah,
Yeah.
assistant town clerk is one thing, and then
So we're not
delinquent.
increasing the
And
vote.
that's what we
No.
have now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Our current delinquent tax collector, who's also an assistant town clerk.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got a number with this. Any more discussion?
No.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, I will send her a message this evening with that number, and we'll see what would she like to do.
Okay, great.
Great. Let's see, we do have, the listers have amended the grand list. They've reassessed value on inventory for Comcast, so they've had to adjust the figure they had down from 27,200 to 10,900. It doesn't give us any more explanation than that, but what would you like to do?
This is from Jean, right?
Yep.
So I'll move that we approve the adjustment to the grand list dated July 27, 2018.
I'll second it.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, and so I think everyone's needs to sign that.
Oh, we didn't sign these yet either.
Right. With that, that takes care of all of our items on the agenda. We're still waiting on the Windham County Humane Society contract. We're operating under our old contract for the time being. So we have an executive session.
Yes, so, and I'll, if you want all this for the minutes, I can give you a copy of this again, but,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna move, we go into executive session as provided in Vermont statute, Title I, Chapter 5, Subchapter 2, it's Section 313, Executive Sessions, and it's gonna be under number 2, which is to discuss negotiating procuring or leasing real estate. And just as a note, if anybody wants to look that title up, this is one of the few exceptions where decisions can be made in executive session under the real estate subsection.
Okay, I'll second.
Okay. All those, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.